Good morning, everybody, and welcome here to the Talladega Superspeedway as we're getting set for Go or Go Home qualifying to find out the six drivers that will race their way into the Jack Link's Beef Jerky 500 for race number 18 of the WRA Oreo Cup Series for 2025. I just realized something. We haven't been to a restrictor plate since Daytona, and this is race 18, believe it or not. That's really crazy if you ask me. Oh, whoa, what was that all about? Scarlett Wallace got in, or no, that Sandy Stewart got on the side of Skylar Davidson and Leo Hill for some reason, as Yuki Yamamoto will be the first car on track. Not entirely sure what that was all about, but apparently they want to get on track early so they can set a lap time down. Hopefully, there was not any damage to the left side of the United Rentals Chevy Camaro out of Richard Childress Racing, Sandy Stewart, as she's behind Yuki Yamamoto. As these two cars are up to speed. 15 minutes, by the way, on the clock. Cloudy morning, should be sunny this afternoon, so the clouds will kind of burn off. As everybody's setting their first lap times, that's because all the pit stalls are behind the start finish line, so this will be their first official time lap. Danny Rant this week in the 62. We had Carolina Bradley in the 62 last week at Dover. Unfortunately, did not make the show. Of course, Carolina Bradley is going to go full time in the Oreo Cup Series next season in the number 21 machine, currently occupied by Ian Dutta this year. And let's see what the first official time lap will be. 51:08 for the 33, 49.876. Yeah, those lap times are starting to come down. Betty Johnson, Cheyenne Berkshire. Betty Johnson back in the 50 for 23:11 this week. Leo Hill and Skylar Davidson, the reason they're right together is they were packed up in a draft together. Skylar Davidson has yet to make a start this year. Trendy Lee has already made a start in the number 75. As looks like that's the 55 of Katie Waters. This week's driver of the 55 for Tricon Garage. 48,419. I did check the ratings. Katie Waters does have 40/60 ratings, so I made sure her ratings same. But that is a blitz lap time there. I don't think anybody's going to touch a 48,419. Get your racing there. There's Kelsey Higdon, Ashley Reynolds, Desiree Foyles right behind Morgan Le Fay, Isaac Willis in the 36, Donovan Dixon, Travis Crampton, who made his debut last week at Dover, back in the 13 this week. Eliana Woodson in the 96. There's Jessica Shelton, almost derped there. Tatum Wright, right behind Dana Monroe. Kayla Rankin, Callie Springer, Eric Monaco. Up to made the show last week at Dover. He is now 34th in points. How about Ashton Wright, a 48.627 for the 29? There she is, and she's in this big pack right here. I think if you end up qualifying in the 48s, I think that would be good enough to get you in the show. And remember, this is only a 15-minute qualifying session. Keep that in mind. And this is the most go or go homers we had, because remember, if you go back to Daytona, we only had like 7 go or go homers. We have 30, so we have 23 more cars here at Talladega than we had back at Daytona, which is pretty cool. Of course, this is our second restrictor plate race because we haven't been on a plate track since Daytona. And we probably won't go back to Daytona until probably right around the playoffs. Actually, let me rephrase that. Next plate race we go to is 8 Bowl, which is about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 races from now. After this race weekend at Talladega. There's Katie Waters, 48.251. Not sure if she has ratings or not because I've made sure her car was 40 by 60, but I'll have to double check it after the session. I don't want another driver who got into the main event only to get her time disallowed. Remember, Elena Aurora made a race in the first half of the regular season, but her time was disallowed due to failing post-qualifying inspection on the ratings. So I really don't want a repeat of that here this week. Just past the halfway point in this qualifying session. GOGH Racing's now up into the 4th position. Right now, it would be unofficially, if the 55 passes qualifying inspection, it would be Katie Waters, Leo Hill, Skylar Davidson would make her debut in the 75. GOGH Racing, Ashton Wright, and Jillian Black. If the 55 does fail inspection, Cheyenne Berkshire would take the final transfer spot. There's Danny Rant in the number 62 this week, the Dude Wipes Chevy Camaro. He just got swallowed up by this pack. He's currently the slowest at a 50.041, but that was because he was all by his lonesome. And now he's going to be in a draft. He does improve his time to a 56.97, but not improved enough. Of course, it is cloudy. The track has a lot of grip. We'll see if anything improves. Speaking of Elena Aurora, there she is. She's in a 3-car draft with Jessica Shelton behind her, and in front of her, Eliana Woodson. Remember, the 55 went to victory lane last week with Monica Towns behind the wheel at Dover. Which is the first career win for Monica Towns, but she's not entered this week, and plus the 55 is not entering any races. Well, is an all-star car. It's not going to make the playoffs, unfortunately, because because that 55 has missed too many races to be eligible for the playoffs. There's Morgan Le Fay. There's Travis Crampton trying to make the show this week. 48.848. Currently 12th quickest. Sandy Stewart and Jillian Black are tied for 6th. Tied for that transfer spot. But the tiebreaker would go to Sandy Stewart, because Sandy Stewart is 61st in points, whereas the 32 has no owner points to fall back on. There's Ingrid Pollard running the Carl Edwards throwback this week. Throwback to Carl Edwards' Aflac scheme from 2011. And she'll be entering that paint scheme in the Southern 500, which we're going to have later this week. As Darlington will be the start of the playoffs as they're approaching the 53. That's Lizette Armstrong they are approaching. Lizette Armstrong, her second Oreo Cup Series race weekend, trying to make her debut as she pulls in front of Eric Monaco, just trying to get in line. Lizette Armstrong, 22 years old, going to be 23 next year. Current ran a 53.64. That was when she was by herself just a little bit. This time will be a lot better lap because now she's in a pack. Donovan Dixon, 48.443. That bumps Ashton Wright out of the Fast 6. Puts Geisha Racing now on the bubble. Leo Hill, third quickest. And Lizette Armstrong's going to abandon her lap. There's Jean Evans, now the slowest. Morgan Le Fay in the 0-2. Here's that big pack. With 2 minutes coming up left to go in the session. Ashton Wright now on the outside looking in. Trying to get a lap in to get herself into the show. Did not improve her lap. I wonder if the tires are starting to go away. That must be Mario, who just got home from work as I'm recording this qualifying session. And yes is the answer. 47.727. Yeah, the 55 is probably going to get checked. And it looks like Ashton Wright might get in the field if the 55 does fail post-qualifying inspection. So Ashton Wright would be on standby. There's Betty Johnson, who would unofficially be the car going home. As you see, Jillian Black currently 8th quickest. Does not improve her time. Kaylee Rankin just came back out on the track as we got less than 50 seconds left to go. I will put an update in the description to tell you if the 55 did pass post-qualifying inspection or not. Because they're definitely going to have to inspect that car. I can guarantee you that car is going to fail post-qualifying inspection, as that is Qualifying done and over with. Hot laps do count. All these cars that just coming back out on the track, they ran out of time. Don't think Eric Monaco's going to beat it. Nope, he didn't improve his time. Well, it didn't really matter. So it looks like Eric Monaco, who came in this race 34th in the points, he will not make the show this week. And he'll have to try again next week at Texas, which is baby CJ's home race, along with the Art siblings of Sean and Jesse. Yes, I know CJ doesn't like me calling him baby CJ, but to be fair, I stole it from somebody else in the NR community. Keep that in mind. So I hope baby CJ is not harmed by that. Oh, no. So if the 55 does fail post-qualifying inspection, Skylar Davidson would be the fastest of the go-or-go homers, and looks like her time didn't get counted, and looks like that's the session. So unofficially, Katie Waters, Skylar Davidson, well, no matter what for Skylar Davidson, she'll make the show. Leo Hill, Sandy Stewart, Donovan Dixon, GOGH Racing makes the show. Now, if Katie Waters does pass inspection, Ashton Wright on down would go home. But if Katie Waters fails inspection, Ashton Wright would make the show. Right now, pending on the 55's inspection, the drivers who will not make the show this week will be Ashton Wright, Jillian Blackshy, and Berkshire, Kelsey Higdon, Danny Rant, Ashley Reynolds, Sam Tinley, Kaylee Rankin, Elena Aurora, Ileana Woodson, Jessica Shelton, Desiree Voiles, Travis Crampton, Tatum Wright, Yuki Yamamoto, Betty Johnson, Dana Monroe, Morgan Le Fay, Callie Springer, Isaac Willis, Eric Monaco, Ingrid Pollard, Lizette Armstrong, and Gene Evans. Those drivers right now would not make the show, pending on the 55's inspection. So we will see you guys later this afternoon. If you enjoyed this qualifying session, be sure to give this video a like, subscribe to become part of the World Racing Association crew. We'll see you back here at 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time as our Dega weekend continues on the World Racing Association Blue Hedgehog TV, the best in racing since 2017 and the greatest racing since 2013.